Hello, everyone, students in the class of 2020, families and friends of our graduates, and all other guests and visitors to this graduation ceremony. On behalf of our senior class, I would like to welcome you to the virtual ceremony for the class of 2020. My name is Rick Harwood, and I have had the pleasure of serving as principal at Foster High School since February of this year. This has been a truly remarkable year, one that none of us will soon forget. And this virtual ceremony is an important part of that experience. To access the program for this event, please follow the link on your screen now. A printed copy of the program will be provided to each student when they pick up the paper copy of their diploma. We will begin our graduation processional in just a moment. Thank you for being here with us to celebrate this truly amazing class.
rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright stars cast. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadow beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Hello again. I'm honored to be here with you today for the graduation of the Foster High School class of 2020. That honor included the opportunity I was given by Superintendent Herndon to be your last principal in the final semester of your high school career. I know you barely know me. We were just getting to know each other when school closed on March 13th. You've had a truly remarkable and unusual 4 years at Foster High School. In those 4 years, you've had 5 principals. You have lived and learned through 2 years of your school being under construction. And now you've experienced probably the most challenging half year of school any high school students have ever had to face, learning from a distance during a health pandemic. You've been separated from your friends, your teachers, and the other staff since March 13th. You've had to learn and do school and complete all your graduation requirements from your homes using technology. You've had to make your decisions and actions to prepare for your future with far less direct contact and support from your high school teachers and counselors. What challenges you never expected? Well, but at least you've been able to do these things while staying in bed until noon and wearing your pajamas all day and not having to brush your hair or get a haircut, like me. Silver linings. And now you're experiencing, along with all of us in this country, an upheaval and reaction to the historic racism that has existed in this country since it began more than 400 years ago. I know that I'm having a difficult time dealing with these situations, and I'm a privileged white man with far fewer demands on my life than you have been faced with in yours. And yet you are here with all of this, ready to graduate and move on to the next big step in your lives. I have a few quotes to help me send you off to your lives beyond high school. Nelson Mandela, the inspirational South African anti-apartheid leader and first black president of South Africa, said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So please, use this weapon that you've acquired the past 13 years of your life, add it to your arsenal in the future with more education, and use it to fight the battles that will make your lives and the world a better place." Mandela also said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave person is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers fear." These are scary, challenging, fearful times you're living in and going into adulthood in. Use these strengths you've gained to triumph over these challenges, to conquer these fearful times, to make better lives for yourselves and all in your lives who you care about. And finally, Frederick Douglass, the slavery abolitionist who himself fought his way out of slavery, said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. Make demands on the powers that be all around you who are being unjust, unfair, who are in the way of righteousness and progress, and demand of yourself to be the very best you can be. You are ready for the next part of your lives. Put your education to work for good. Turn fear and anger into action for good. Demand what is right and work to make that happen. Congratulations, class of 2020.
In my own high school experience, there are certain small moments that I've come to appreciate. It is the accumulation of these small moments that act in contrast to those that have had a negative impact on me. These ideas are highlighted in the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. In this poem, the speaker describes a day that was not going well and how a small event was able to make a significant change in his emotions. When the crow shook the snow down onto the speaker's head, it causes him to change his mood amidst the day that was not going well. Like Frost's poem, practicing gratitude and acknowledging my own emotions has made an impact on my life. Practicing gratitude in my daily life has provided a different perspective on my high school experience. It is through the act of taking the time to observe my surroundings and the behavior of those around me that has provided valuable insight into my life. Noticing when others are kind and reflecting on the positive experiences I have had have prevented me from losing purpose within the repetitive routines of school. This includes moments when teachers notice and take the time to talk with us about our issues, when people hold the door when we are several steps away, even though now it's awkward because we have to walk faster so we don't have to keep holding the door, when we talk about a difficult test with our friends, and even when it snows and we can look out the window with our fellow classmates. Another lesson that Frost's poem highlights and that echoes through my high school experience is the acknowledgement of emotions. The speaker in the poem discusses a day that he had rued and identifies what was able to change his mood. Knowing that a walk in the forest, a talk with a friend, or some other action has impacted me is a step towards using these actions in the future to counteract bad days. Rather than criticizing myself for being lazy or crying about something, allowing myself to feel these emotions has allowed me to work towards feeling motivated again. During my junior year, I remember feeling lonely and frustrated as AP testing neared. At one point, I had become so tired and burnt out from excessively studying and setting too high expectations for myself. It was through acknowledging my emotions with my family, taking the time to talk with my friends, and opening up to certain teachers that helped me get through that time. Practicing gratitude helped me recognize that I had these support groups. When we move on to our post-high school plans, new responsibilities will be prioritized over emotional awareness. The need to find a job, learn to live alone, and deal with finances are among many responsibilities that many of us will be expected to fulfill. It is important that we are able to use our knowledge of our own emotions in future settings when we encounter hardships. For many, there is stigma against mental health awareness in our cultures and communities that prevent us from feeling validated in our own selves. High school was crucial in figuring out what actions we take to address our own emotions and figure out the communities that we can be a part of in helping us. Like Frost's poem, little changes in our lives can accumulate to create significant impact on our emotional well-being. Both the practice of gratitude and recognition of emotions are closely intertwined with the interactions I have with others. Through gratitude, we can recognize the things and people that make us happy. By acknowledging our emotions, we can prepare ourselves for the hardships that come with the independence and responsibility of life after high school and understand how turning to others can help us. With the teachers, students, and peers that I have been able to open up to and come to appreciate, my list of small happy moments continues to grow. Thank you.
First off, I want to thank my family for their support in my education, my friends who have encouraged and supported me through this journey, and my teachers from Cascade View, Showalter, and Foster for their guidance and support. We're finally here. After dreaming of this moment for the past 12 years, we're finally ready to receive our diplomas and open a new chapter in our lives. As sad as it is to see that we will all be walking our own separate paths, I would like to take the time to reflect on how we have built a community over the past 4 years. Growing up, I was isolated from my friends and was made fun of for always focusing on school. I remember trying to do things my friends had done, like playing card or online games. Despite my attempt to fit in, I was always made fun of for not being good at them regardless. Going into Foster, I told myself that I would change myself as a person and be able to fit in with my peers. And with that in mind, I did sports, such as cross country and track. As we worked out, we struggled and cried together. And with the common goal of trying to become better, I was able to build bonds with people that I would never have thought to have talked to. And with the support of my peers and the guidances of my coaches, I learned one of the most important lessons. Instead of needing someone to accept and judge me, I learned to accept myself. Nonetheless, my goal of changing myself as a person persisted. I still wanted to go from that one quiet kid to someone that was comfortable with expressing myself with people. And as I got more comfortable, I started to get involved more. As I joined clubs and participated in class spirit, I was able to connect with so many of you all and realize that this was a safe community that I was comfortable with. What was even more comforting was being able to come back to Foster as a Running Start student and still being able to interact with all of you as if there were no barriers between us. I really enjoyed the moments where we were able to come together and we would support each other, and being able to say hi to someone that you don't see very often and feel as if you haven't grown apart from them is something that I would cherish. I am proud to have grown with each and every one of you, and I have learned so much from you, and it's because of my experiences with you all that I am here today being able to speak with you. I am proud to be your classmate, and I am proud to say that I've seen you all develop as learners, educators, and leaders. And with today's world, that's exactly what we need right now. Here at Foster, we were able to come together no matter our differences. We listened, we taught, and we support one another. And as we set off into our own separate ways, we hold the power to unite our respective communities and change this imperfect world together. Indeed, there's an overwhelming amount of work to be done. However, I know that the class of 2020 has made the impossible become possible before. And with that, congratulations to you, to us, to the class of 2020. We did it, and now we're ready to do more.
Well, we did it. It doesn't even feel real to say that in a few months, most of us will be off to university, the military, or the workforce. It's a wild mix of nostalgia, sadness, happiness, and excitement to look back on our last 4 years together as a class, especially when I consider the impact all of us have had on each other. Those who know me will know that I had a turbulent childhood. I was raised by a single-parent immigrant mother who was diagnosed with cancer when I was 6 years old. She was hospitalized when I was 8 and passed away almost a year later. During this time, I had been moving from home to home since no one really knew what to do with me until a month after my mother had passed away. I was made to move in with my father, someone I had almost no memory of. This is where all of you come in. For someone who has always struggled with maintaining or even having access to a strong familial support system, school and especially the friends I made were my crutch. I simply cannot stress just how monumental the effect all of you have had on me. It is in all of you that I have found my brothers, sisters, cousins, and even life mentors. From all of you, I have learned so many things, but there are two which stick out most to me. First, to be unapologetically myself, while accepting all others as valid, unique, and exceptional people. It can be incredibly difficult to even be comfortable with who you are on a personal level, let alone show the entire world those parts of yourself. But the fact that so many of you, whether outspoken or reserved, can carry yourself in such an unapologetic way, but also reciprocate that and encourage others to be confident is amazing. When I find myself about to retreat or hide parts of myself which I think are shameful or embarrassing, I remember my peers and their dedication to being themselves. The second, that my peers legitimately care about me and are willing to give their support when I need them. This is another thing which may seem quite obvious at first, but to someone who simply never grew up with this as a reality, this realization was world-altering to me. There have been multiple times where a peer who I honestly considered a stranger has comforted me or shown me empathy in a way which boggles my mind. I have one specific memory which, although a little embarrassing, I feel like demonstrates the point. In sophomore year, after getting into a pretty bad argument with a teacher, I ended up crying alone at the bus loop. As I cried, one of you walked over to me and did something as simple as ask me what was wrong, and through our conversation, I was able to calm down. I owed you nothing, yet you showed me a genuine compassion which I had done nothing to deserve. This is just one of the many examples of the fact that we have created a culture that values caring about other people, and I think that is something which makes our class stick out. Lastly, I'd like to end this speech by thanking all of those who have helped me get to where I am right now. It is through all of you present, and even those who could not see this speech today, that I am who I am. I would like to first thank my family, particularly my mother, sister, and aunt, who raised me and gifted me with the values that I have today. My friends, who have supported me countless times, and without them, I may not even be able to give this speech. My dutiful teachers, who have encouraged and challenged me, and of course, all of you, for making me lucky enough to have been given the chance to learn and experience so much. Your immense hard work and dedication to yourselves, as well as each other, is incredibly admirable. As we become adults in these turbulent times, I have faith in the skills and awareness we possess to create necessary change within our world.
Superintendent Dr. Flip Herndon and members of the Tukwila School District Board of Directors, by the powers vested in me by the state of Washington and the Tukwila School District, I present to you Foster High School's graduating class of 2020. The Foster High School faculty and I, the principal, certify that each and every one of the students before you has completed their course of study and met the graduation requirements as prescribed by Washington state law and the policies of the Tukwila School District Board of Directors. Superintendent Herndon, I am pleased to present to you the Foster High School class of 2020. I know that they are ready and eager to graduate.
With the assurance of Interim Principal Rick Harwood that the Foster High School class of 2020 has met the requirements of graduation, by the power vested in me as the superintendent of the Tukwila School District by the state of Washington, I, Dr. Flip Herndon, accept the Foster High School class of 2020 and declare them graduated.
Graduates, please stand and face your family. Take hold of your tassel and move it from the right to the left, and keep Foster in your hearts forever. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduated class of 2020. Please join the graduated class of 2020 as they sing the alma mater one last time. Singing the alma mater is an important tradition at Foster. The alma mater is sung at every school assembly and at athletic events. This tradition binds us together as a Foster family. The words can be found in your program.